Imagine waking up one day and realizing that the economic balance of power has shifted, not because of a new technology or breakthrough, but because of a growing tension between the two most powerful countries in the world, the US and China. This isn't just about trade wars or tariffs. This is about the future of the global economy itself. So, what exactly happens when the US and China clash? What does it mean for your investments, your job, and your future? Well, Ray Dalio, one of the most respected investors in the world, has some fascinating insights that we need to explore. Stick with me as we dive into Dalio's perspective on how these tensions could reshape the global economy. Before we get started, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe and hit the like button because this is the kind of content that you don't want to miss. And if you enjoy these deep dives into Ray Dalio's economic strategies and global insights, hit that bell icon so you're always in the loop with the Ray Dalio method. Now, let's get right into it. For years, the US and China have been at odds. But the stakes have never been higher. We're talking about a power struggle that goes beyond trade tariffs and diplomatic spats. This is about global influence, technology dominance, and the future of capitalism. As Ray Dalio explains, we're seeing the beginnings of a new global order, one that could reshape the financial landscape for generations to come. China has been steadily building its economic power, moving away from the traditional Western-dominated financial system. Meanwhile, the US has been trying to protect its status as the world's leading superpower. And this battle isn't just about economics, it's a battle for control of the future. From trade wars to technological rivalry, the US-China tension is like a ticking time bomb with global implications. Ray Dalio often refers to history as the best teacher when it comes to understanding the future. If we look back at history, we can see that this isn't the first time in the world that two major powers have clashed over supremacy. Think back to the US and the Soviet Union during the Cold War. Or, earlier still, the rise of the British Empire. The key difference, though, is that today, the US and China are not just competing over military dominance, they're fighting for control over global finance, trade routes, and even the future of technology. Dalio reminds us that the rise of a new superpower often leads to a shift in the global economic system. We saw it with the UK giving way to the US in the 20th century. Now, China's rise could very well be the next big shift, and it's happening right before our eyes. So, what does all of this mean for the world's economy? Well, Dalio points out that these tensions could lead to several significant outcomes. First, we're likely to see a fragmentation of the global economy. What does that mean? In simple terms, it means that the world may no longer operate as a single, interconnected marketplace. Instead, countries could divide into separate trading blocs, with the US and China leading opposing factions. This could disrupt everything from international trade agreements to supply chains. For businesses, this fragmentation could lead to higher costs and more uncertainty. Imagine trying to operate in a world where sanctions and trade wars are the norm. If you're an investor, this means that stock markets could experience more volatility, as uncertainty around global trade impacts company profits and growth. But that's not all this. Tension could also accelerate the shift towards decoupling, where the US and China become less dependent on each other for critical goods and services. And this decoupling could have a massive impact on everything from global manufacturing to technology production. Another important point Dalio often highlights is the ongoing technological rivalry between the US and China. This isn't just about who has the best phones or computers. It's about who controls the future of artificial intelligence, 5G networks, and even space technology. In this race, whoever leads will have enormous economic and military advantages. If China takes the lead in AI and quantum computing, for example, it could revolutionize industries and shift the balance of economic power in unexpected ways. Dalio believes that this tech race could become the defining battleground of the 21st century. But there's a cutshift. These tensions escalate too far. We could see a tech Cold War, where each country tries to isolate itself from the other, developing its own version of critical technologies. What does this mean for you, the investor? Dalio emphasizes that these tensions can have serious consequences for global markets. If the US and China continue to clash, the stock market could experience heightened volatility. Companies that rely heavily on China for manufacturing or exports might see their stock prices dip. On the other hand, companies in sectors like defense, cybersecurity, or energy might benefit from increased government spending in these areas as tensions rise. But it's not just about which sectors will thrive. Dalio believes that the overall economic environment could shift. A prolonged US-China standoff could lead to increased inflation, rising interest rates, and a slowdown in global economic growth. For everyday consumers, this could mean higher prices for goods, especially in industries that depend on China's manufacturing power.